Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we are currently working on cleaning up the Comstar Scout Lance and reinforcements. It shouldn't take too much longer, but it was going to be long enough where I didn't feel like we could fit it into a single episode, unfortunately. But we can position in behind this javelin, and we should be able to start cleaning these up pretty easily at this point. So that's a dead javelin. Fantastic. That's half of the enemies gone at this point. And we outnumber them at this point. So that is phenomenal. Next up, they are going to be moving this Ignis. Okay. It's probably going to continue pumping the heat into our Grasshopper, which really doesn't care that much. So that's all fine for the moment. I do want this Ignis to go away pretty soon. Now, the crossbow, I kind of want to position here and go for this stealth. Hit odds are not the finest in the world, but that's to be expected. It's got 8 evasive. And let's see what we get done here. Hey, he's now unsteady. I like it. He moves in phase 12, but our hoplite can fire at him right now. And I'm not going to fire the thumper, but I am going to fire our other weaponry that the hoplite has.
Roger that.
Large amount of internal damage there,
SRMs.
but nothing significantly dealt. Okay. Does he have anything in that torso? Maybe not. Hard to say. The Venom now ran out over here as well. That's intriguing.
Commander?
So at this point, the Apollo is going to step back over here. I still want to be hitting this Ignis here, since we did heavily damage its flank with our AC-20.
Copy that, Commander.
And there we go. The Ignis is out of here. So that's fantastic. This is going a little bit faster than I thought it would. But, I mean, ultimately that's a good thing. If this goes this quickly for the rest of the mission, I'm going to be sad that I put a cut in, but whatever. We'll fire on the stealth. Well, the stealth is gone now.
Mech destroyed.
This is going very quickly.
Pretty damn
I didn't expect it to go quite this quickly, but we might have to, like, chase down the Venom or whatever. We'll see. You never can tell with RogueTech, is the thing. So the Locust is going to move on up over here. That is a great target for our Centaur now.
Yes,
Next up is our Grasshopper, which is going to continue to advance on this Goblin ISB. Heat is still a concern, but how much can we get away with firing here? We can probably alpha this, but I'm not going to. I'm going to fire like this.
No.
We miss the AC-20, unfortunately. Next up is going to be this Fire Starter, which this race can probably move to engage. Okay, hitting the Rifleman with Flamers there is a little bit sad for us.
Over the red line.
Those heat levels are getting up there, for sure. I want to move in on this Goblin. This is on the right side that it's been weakened. So I want to just kick it here, and we're just going to do as much as we can. I wouldn't be shocked if this kills the ISB.
Testing physical attack.
What do we got? We managed to hit the kick. It doesn't actually breach the armor. Remarkable. It pretty much all hit the front armor, rather than the side that we were angling for. That's unfortunate, but not the end of the world. In fact, that's completely and totally fine. They continue to focus on our Grasshopper, which is starting to get a bit low on its armor.
Taking heavy hits, Commander.
But overall, it's not so bad.
Skipper.
The Wraith, at this point, I want to move into the rear arc of this Firestarter. And I do want to fire this PPC with the field inhibitor off. We'll overheat, but it should be okay. It got very little done there, to be honest, but it's okay. Next up is the Centaur, and the Centaur is moving into rear arc of this Locust.
Aye, aye.
Only 52% hit odds here, but the Locust has such little armor, this probably will kill it regardless. This will also run us out of ammunition on the Centaur, so we need to keep that one in mind. Excellent. But there's only like 3 enemies left at this point, right? So it should be fine. We'll see what this Venom decides to do. It moves now. This has not been our primary target, basically this whole time. Oh, it moves back and goes for the rifle. Okay. He manages to get a head hit,
Commander, I'm wounded.
but that's okay.
Wait
So
for
next, I
orders.
want the Apollo to position somewhere around here,
I'm there.
because we can very easily defeat this goblin.
Copy that, Commander.
I expect the missiles to destroy it. There we go. One
I
dead
need
goblin.
a new target.
And next up would be our crossbow, looking to angle in on this venom.
Heading out.
Would we be better off with SAM missiles here? We would. And I'm not going to fire the medium lasers due to heat. That's a lot of internal structural damage there. Okay. We'll definitely take that. The Shadowhawk is going to close in back here. It's going to fire on the Venom, mostly because of lack of additional targets. But I'm not going to fire the machine guns. I don't want a stray shot. And we're mostly just looking to make it unsteady here. And that is indeed exactly what we got.
Waiting for
Now the rifleman can come in over here. It is definitely rocking a lot of heat. No doubt about
Roger
that. But we could fire without the PPCs, just the large lasers, and
On
see
it.
what we can. Only a single hit? Okay. That's fine. It's not the end of the world. Our heat was very, very high on that rifleman. The fire starter is engaging the Wraith, which is unsurprising. Adds a bunch of heat to it.
Watch my heat.
Okay.
Ready to rock.
So then the Wraith would be interested in moving somewhere like up over here
I'm rolling.
and firing on this Venom, but not with the PPC. Heat is way too high for the PPC.
Here we go.
Wow, we actually destroyed it.
Warriors, show 'em what you
I didn't
got.
expect that. Okay, so all that's left then is the fire
Keep
starter.
an eye on my heat, Commander.
Well, I mean, I guess this has gone long enough that it definitely would have been an awkwardly long episode, so there is that. I'm going to want to fire the Thumper Artillery in direct fire mode here. But I guess we're in minimum range, so we have to fire it in flak mode? Okay. Probably only going to get some incidental damage here. I think we hit ourselves. I'm pretty certain that we managed to hit ourselves with that one.
Waiting for orders.
Well, that's fine. The Grasshopper is going to turn around and start heading this direction
Go.
and sink his heat. There we go. Next up would be our Centaur, which can get in behind this fire starter.
way.
We actually do still have SRMs. We're out of LRMs. Okay, noted.
Affirmative.
Structure exposed, a gyro crit, but not too much
SRMs
actually
are
dealt
out.
to that fire starter there.
Yup.
The Wraith at this point is interested in positioning about here and firing once again without the PPC, but we'll see what we get from everything else. Little bit of damage reduction there. That's fine. So the hoplite at this point is just going to close in.
On my way.
I would like to fire the Thumper Artillery, but we are definitely in minimum range. We're just going to fire the ER medium laser and the LRM-15.
Roger.
And we got very little done there, but I'm not shocked about that. This is not an ideal position for our hoplite to be in.
Commander?
That's for sure. The Apollo can position here, and this is a pretty decent spot for the Apollo. This is going to do a lot to this fire starter. Okay, it lost its evasive there.
Standing
That's
by.
kind of huge. The crossbow can't get into LOS here,
Confirm.
but we can still lob an indirect shot. AMS ammo explosion there, taking out that left torso of the fire starter. And the pilot just decides to eject. Okay, sounds good. So now the question is there any good salvage here? Honestly, I kinda don't think there is. Maybe we'll grab a couple of components here and there, but there's not really anything that I'm really angling to get my eyes on here, or rather get my hands on here. That's not really something that's, I think, going to happen. We'll see. It's going to take a little bit to get the Grasshopper repaired, no doubt about that, but should be fine. Yeah, that thing definitely took a fair amount of hits. So we could take a fire starter, we could take the line holder. I'm not too concerned about any of this. A large pulse laser is not too bad. We'll see what else is available. There's some case here. We do have a couple of case already, though, so I'm not too concerned about that. A ferrofibrous, though. Honestly, that's about all we want. Okay. LRM-5 here, cockpit basic, small jump jet, sensor basic. Cool. That'll do. Not a lot out of that, but mostly we were there for the cash, right? So that'll make us a good amount of cash. I don't think it's going to take us too long to get repaired there. At least I hope it doesn't. Yeah, it'll be a little bit to repair the stealth, but the the Grasshopper, but the Black Knight should be back very, very shortly. So we could maybe just swap the Grasshopper and the Black Knight if we needed to. That would be a viable thing. We'll see how long it takes to repair everything else and how long it takes to repair the Grasshopper. But that could all be an interesting option, for sure. 120k, 22 days? Yeah, that sounds about right. How long on that Grasshopper? 11 days on the Grasshopper alone? Okay. Let's focus priority on the Grasshopper. But beyond that, let's just tick forward here. Cool. So Gorgon is currently injured. The Black Knight is going to be back at the same time as the Grasshopper. Okay. Seems fine. We'll just get all of these good to go. Okay. Now we can hop into our barracks, and we can get ourselves another quick round of pilot upgrades. Not Gorgon, but everybody else.
Commander?
So what do we got going on here? A point of tactics for hard case. That'll be great.
How can I help?
Piloting for Magus. I like it.
Reading you.
Let's see. Panic can get a point of guts.
Commander?
Plato, a point of piloting. And that's about it. Okay. So now we're pretty much ready to deploy again. And it's early enough in the episode. We can definitely do that. I would like this to be a pretty quick deployment, in theory. Like a solo duel. Interesting. A solo duel would be definitely quick. No doubt about it. We wouldn't be interested in salvage at all. We'd just take pure payment. And of course, who are we going to bring? Well, it's going to be Magus in the Centaur, naturally. The Centaur is just so good at solo duels like that. So we would just bring this guy right on over here, and these guys can get out of here. That'll buy some time for Gorgon to heal a bit, but I'm not too concerned about that, all things considered. And let's do this. A nice, quick solo duel, in theory. I might not even cut out the loading screen this time. It should go pretty quick, and we can get that very nice all systems nominal voiceover that I've been cutting out because it plays when it finishes loading. Yeah, that'll be fine. Let's just get this loaded on up. RogueTech does take a while to load. Right now, we are loading the loading screen. I believe we have finished loading the loading screen. And the loading screen will appear shortly. But yeah, it's a slow process to get RogueTech loaded. There's no doubt about it, and that's why I've been cutting it out. Because it's just, it's so much. But just this one, it should be fine. Especially since it's a solo duel. We know that there's only going to be one enemy. It should load pretty quick. So just imagine, if you will.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
And there it was. Imagine, if you will, how long it took to load that. And then multiply that by, like, between 16 and 30. And that's how a lot of missions end up going. But we can hop right on in here. No problem whatsoever.
Command interface.
And the question is, where is this Word of Blake enemy at? Well, we can just hop up over this direction for now.
Moving out.
And he's up over here. We'll see what he's got. It'll be interesting if he's got the same Arrow 4s that he did before. He's piloting a Victor, huh? Okay, we'll just brace here for now. What are you going to do? We've got 8 evasive. He's going to position there. Interesting. Those machine guns are going to be painful for us.
You need more practice.
Okay. We are going to sprint up over here, or so. Here. And we'll hit him sidearm.
Sprinting.
Okay. So there's a sidearm hit. We'll see what he does. He backs off. Ooh, he manages to actually hit that AC-20 there. That's a little bit
My
painful.
armor's in bad shape.
No doubt about that. And we are just going to get into rear arc here. We're going to physical weapon attack him. He has very little rear arc armor.
Roger that.
We hit the physical attack. Structure exposure, AC-20 ammo explosions.
That was a critical.
Phenomenal.
hit,
What are you going to do? Okay. He's not going to survive another hit here. He did not manage to penetrate our armor, remarkably. This one, he did penetrate the armor, but he didn't actually do any internal damage.
Got my attention.
So it's all good. We've got this solidly under control. We just need to get into rear arc here.
Aye, aye.
And this is one dead Victor.
To hell with the weapon.
So that's a successful melee, and the pilot ejects. Phenomenal.
Follow my lead.
That definitely could have been a lot more painful. If they had hit that first AC-20, that could have been really bad, actually. But luckily they didn't. And we're good. Okay, so let's get out of here. In terms of salvage, I mean, I would like to get that Victor, but that's not going to happen, obviously. We're not going to salvage the Victor. At best, I mean, we don't even get a priority salvage here. So that's not going to be a thing. We're going to get very, very little from salvage out of this, but we do get 1 million C-bills, or almost 1 million C-bills. So that's great. And that Victor got beaten up by a proto-mech, by a 25-tonner. So, I mean, to be fair to the Victor, we did have 5 units, and he had 1, because we're a proto-mech. So there is that. It's a little bit unfair in that regard, but whatever. It's fine. So that's all good. We do manage to get about an extra 1 million C-bills out of that one. We knew that that would go very, very quickly. No doubt about it. But let's get loaded in, and we'll get our Centaur repaired. We didn't take any internal damage in the Centaur, luckily. If they had managed to hit our Centaur that didn't have any armor with those machine guns, that could have been very bad. But luckily, they did not. It'll take 2 days to get these repairs done. That's fine. Magus will be fatigued for another day beyond that. Brick is slacking. We'll address both of their shortcomings. Okay, Capo is now dependable, and Brick has lost his rebellious tag. Perfect. There we go. So we'll tick forward 1 more day, and we'll hop into the barracks here. Gorgon is still injured, but arguably... Okay, we don't need to do anything here. Arguably, what we need to do right now is deploy 1 more time before this financial report. Not even arguably. That is what we need to do. We're not really in a position to do so in this episode, though, because there's only a couple minutes left, and to be honest, I'm just going to end this episode a little early. A lot of times these RogueTech episodes go over, and that's great, but sometimes we're just ready to end a couple minutes early as well. Because of the fact that we can't save in the mission, that just means that the recording sessions get a little bit awkward, right? So it's absolutely fine, but it's definitely awkward. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time. It feels so weird to be ending the episode before 20 minutes, but here we are.